The story begins with a married couple, Ethan and Sophie, sitting in a therapy session with their therapist, Ted. As they reflect on their past, they reminisce about how they first met at a party and quickly fell in love. Ethan fondly recalls a wild memory from that night, the two of them sneaking into a neighbor's pool and jumping in, only for the furious homeowner to burst outside screaming. Instead of ruining the moment, it became one of the most thrilling and unforgettable nights of their lives. Wanting to recapture that spark, Ethan later tried to recreate the experience for their anniversary. But this time, nothing happened. No one came out, and the magic they once felt was gone. Sophie sadly says that the failed attempt made her realize how different things have become. Happiness used to feel effortless between them, but now it feels distant and hard to reach. Ethan confesses that he made mistakes in the past and continues to apologize, asking Sophie to trust him again. However, Sophie struggles to forgive him, and the tension between them quickly escalates into an argument. Seeing their frustration, Ted intervenes with a suggestion. He hands them a brochure for a secluded retreat designed for couples seeking a fresh start. He explains that many troubled relationships have been healed there, and couples often return feeling renewed and reconnected. The couple soon arrives at the vacation house for their retreat. Sophie is immediately struck by how beautiful and peaceful the place is. Despite the stunning surroundings, an awkward silence lingers between them, a reminder of the tension they still carry. While Sophie is in the bathroom, Ethan wanders outside to explore the property. He stumbles upon a small shed-like building that contains a computer and a recording system, which piques his curiosity. Not far from there, he discovers a charming guest house. Inside, he finds shelves filled with books and an iPad displaying glowing reviews from previous visitors, all praising the retreat for helping them rediscover their love and reconnect with their partners. That night, Ethan prepares dinner and tells Sophie about the guest house he found earlier, using it as an opportunity to gently reconnect with her. Later, while Ethan is washing the dishes, Sophie is outside and notices the guest house for herself. Curious, she walks over and begins exploring the interior. As she looks around, she suddenly sees Ethan standing there, waiting for her. The mood between them softens, and they share a playful, intimate evening, confessing their love for one another. For the first time in a while, everything between them feels right. They decide to spend the night in the guest house. Before settling in, Sophie returns to the main house to change her clothes. When she enters, she is shocked to find Ethan asleep on the couch. Confused, she asks how he managed to get back so quickly from the guest house. Ethan, equally puzzled, tells her he didn't step outside after dinner. When Sophie mentions their intimate moment in the guest house, Ethan is stunned and insists it never happened. Frustrated and hurt, Sophie accuses him of ruining the night and storms out. Disturbed by the argument, Ethan goes to the guest house and notices 2 glasses of wine sitting on the table, even though no one else is there. Uneasy, he lies down on the couch. A short while later, Sophie joins him and snuggles close. The next morning, Ethan wakes up to find Sophie cheerfully cooking breakfast. She seems to be in an unusually good mood. What unsettles him is that she's frying bacon, something she has always hated. He asks her about their strange argument from the night before, but Sophie brushes it off, saying what matters is that they fought and made up. Ethan insists they never reconciled and that she stormed out. Sophie casually shrugs it off, tells him not to worry, and serves him breakfast, urging him to eat. Ethan rushes back to the main house and heads upstairs to their bedroom. He's shocked to see Sophie in the bathroom, still visibly upset. Without wasting a moment, he grabs her hand and leads her to the guest house, determined to show her what he saw. But when they arrive, the place is empty again. There's no sign of the breakfast or anyone else having been there. Irritated and overwhelmed, Sophie storms outside, with Ethan hurrying after her. He tries to explain the bizarre situation unfolding around them. He tells her that he woke up in the guest house with her that morning and saw her cooking bacon for breakfast. Sophie confirms that she remembers the intimate moment they shared the night before, but Ethan insists he never slept with her. Both of them realize that something strange and unexplainable is happening. Determined to investigate, Ethan tells Sophie to wait outside while he goes back into the guest house. Inside, he freezes when he sees another version of Sophie calmly taking a bath. She casually asks him to grab her a towel. Shaken, Ethan steps back outside and hands a towel to the fake Sophie, telling her that someone who looks exactly like her is inside. Sophie, frightened and hesitant, admits she's scared. Ethan urges her to see it for herself. Gathering her courage, Sophie enters the guest house. Inside, she sees another Ethan exercising as if nothing is wrong. She stands there stunned, unable to process the impossible sight in front of her. Ethan tries to enter the guest house, but the door is locked. He rushes to the back entrance, only to find that it's locked as well. Moments later, Sophie finally comes out, shaken, and tells Ethan that another version of him is inside, calmly exercising. Terrified by what they've just witnessed, the couple quickly decides to pack their things and leave. They stop at a small local diner for coffee to process everything. Ethan wonders out loud if what they experienced could be something cosmic, maybe a glitch in reality or another dimension. He wants to forget the whole incident and move on, but Sophie can't shake the feeling. The experience unsettles her, yet it also fascinates her. She admits that despite how strange it was, she didn't feel threatened. In fact, she felt safe. To her, the place felt strangely magical, and she believes returning might actually help repair their relationship. After a long discussion, they agree to go back and investigate further. As they drive, they decide on a plan. They'll enter the guest house one at a time, and Ethan will go first. When they return, Ethan steps inside and immediately sees his breakfast waiting on the table. A cheerful version of Sophie greets him warmly, saying she missed him. Ethan cautiously asks her several personal questions, and she answers each one perfectly, just like the real Sophie would. He steps back outside and tells Sophie what happened, explaining how convincing the other Sophie seemed. Together, they return to the main house and establish strict ground rules before continuing. They agree to treat it like an experiment, have fun, but leave immediately if either of them feels uncomfortable. No intimacy, no spying, and complete honesty about what happens inside. Each visit will last only 15 minutes. When it's Sophie's turn, Ethan sets a 15-minute timer on his phone. Inside the guest house, Sophie finds the other Ethan painting her portrait. She's surprised and touched, and the two begin an easy, casual conversation. In the main house, Ethan notices that more than 15 minutes have passed. Growing worried, he hurries to the guest house and tries to open the door, but it's still locked. He sneaks to a window and peers inside, only to see the other Ethan giving Sophie a back massage. Sophie spots him watching. Annoyed, she storms outside and confronts Ethan, accusing him of spying on her. During dinner in the main house, Sophie admits that the other version of Ethan reminds her of how he used to be in the past: funny, playful, and full of humor. Curious and slightly insecure, Ethan asks if there are any physical differences between him and his double. Sophie says the only noticeable changes are his messy hair and the fact that he isn't wearing glasses. Later that night, Ethan lies awake and goes to the guest house. Inside, Ethan discreetly turns on his phone recorder and hides it on a shelf, hoping to capture proof of what's happening. The next morning, Sophie is in the guest house laughing and enjoying a lively conversation with the other Ethan, while the real Ethan waits outside, secretly watching. When Sophie finally leaves, Ethan sneaks back in to retrieve his recorder, but it's gone. Suddenly, the other Sophie appears and asks what their agenda is for the day. He responds that he'll just exploring around. She then casually hands him the phone, saying she found it, before walking to her room. Confused about how she found it, he steps outside and nervously plays the recording, only to hear distorted static instead of voices. That evening in the main house, Ethan notices that several of his shirts are missing from his drawer, even though he clearly remembers unpacking them. Suddenly, Sophie receives a text message from the other Ethan and laughs quietly. Ethan feels a chill of unease. He didn't even know the other Ethan had a phone. The next morning in the guest house, Sophie confronts the other Ethan about his past betrayal. He explains that their relationship had been falling apart and that he made a terrible mistake while trying to fill the emotional distance between them. He apologizes sincerely and thanks her for staying and fighting to save their marriage. Hearing the words she's longed for, Sophie becomes emotional. A wave of relief washes over her, and they share a tender kiss. The next morning, Ethan asks Sophie if they can talk. He admits that the weekend has been deeply confusing. He tells her he's not the type of person who could be interested in another version of her and wants reassurance that she's still following their ground rules. Sophie calmly confirms that she is. Later that afternoon, while alone outside, Ethan checks his phone and finds a series of strange messages. One is from an angry man complaining that Ethan called him at 2 in the morning and sounded disoriented, as if he couldn't even remember where he lived. The calls leave Ethan unsettled. He returns to the main house and tells Sophie about the messages. He suspects that the other Ethan may have made those calls. Sophie doubts it, but offers to ask the other Ethan later if he wants. Ethan quickly refuses, brushing it off and claiming it's not important. He says he's going to the store to buy groceries, but instead he drives a short distance away and parks where he can secretly watch the guest house. He waits until Sophie heads toward the guest house. Just as she's about to enter through the front door, Ethan slips in through a side entrance, pretending to be the fake Ethan. Sophie opens up to him, telling him how effortlessly he understands her feelings and how he says everything she's always wanted to hear. She admits she can't stop thinking about it. Ethan plays along with the role, and the moment grows intimate, with Sophie believing she's with the fake Ethan. Later, Ethan returns to the main house looking emotionally drained. Sophie asks where the groceries are, and he casually tells her the store was closed. Moments later, Ethan goes back to the guest house and confronts the fake Sophie. He bluntly tells her she isn't real and demands to know who, or what, she is. He confesses that he can't enjoy the weekend because it feels like this is the moment he's losing his wife. The other Sophie quietly responds that the loss didn't begin this weekend. As his wife, she's always known their relationship was slipping away. Back at the main house, Ethan looks through the window and watches Sophie leave the guest house. She pauses for a moment, then steps inside again. Inside, Sophie is laughing and making out with the fake Ethan. Furious, Ethan storms to the guest house and pounds on the door, calling Sophie's name. She opens the door, and Ethan rushes inside to confront his double, but the fake Ethan is gone. Frustrated, Sophie blames him for making the fake Ethan disappear and storms out. Ethan tells her that he's not real, but Sophie admits she's happy and doesn't want to leave. Inside the main house, Ethan and Sophie are stunned to find their doubles waiting calmly for them. The other couple suggests that the four of them sit down together to talk and get to know one another. Desperate for answers, the real Ethan demands to know what's happening and why they're pretending to be them. The other Ethan calmly replies that they aren't pretending to them, they are the real ones. While the two Sophies casually chat with each other, Ethan continues insisting the doubles can't possibly be real. The other Ethan argues that, logically, if they're sitting face to face, one pair must be real and the other fake. Acting as if everything is normal, he says he's starving and asks Ethan to freshen up for dinner. During the meal, Ethan remains tense and uncomfortable. He asks again if there's any explanation for what's happening. The other Ethan simply shrugs and says that sometimes things happen without explanation. The best thing to do is enjoy the moment. But Ethan can't accept that answer. Later, the two Sophies speak privately. Curious, the real Sophie asks the other Sophie if the other Ethan shared with her what he and the real Sophie experienced inside the guest house. But the other Sophie responds with a question instead of an answer. The other Sophie questions whether the real Sophie is more bothered by what she and Ethan did together or by what the other Ethan confessed about his time with her. For the sake of the strange but exciting evening ahead, the other Sophie suggests they stop pretending to hate the situation and try to enjoy it. Back in the living room, the four of them play cards. The other Ethan becomes the life of the party, charming and energetic. The real Sophie laughs and relaxes, which only frustrates Ethan. When the other Ethan wins the game, Ethan lashes out, calling him a liar. Hurt, the other Ethan reveals the truth to Sophie. The real Ethan never went to the store. Instead, he snuck into the guest house pretending to be his double and became intimate with Sophie. Feeling betrayed, Sophie tells Ethan to leave. He storms out and calls their therapist, Ted, but gets no answer. In frustration, he leaves an angry voicemail. Determined to uncover the truth, Ethan sneaks into the Coop house. He opened a computer filled with files from previous guests. He plays several recordings and becomes increasingly disturbed. Eventually, he discovers a file labeled with his and Sophie's names. The audio reveals another couple practicing how to mimic their voices and personalities.
I am Sophie.
I am Ethan.
He also finds a photograph of himself and Sophie that he doesn't recognize. When he tries to leave, He realizes the door is locked. He shouts for help, but no one hears him. The next morning, the other Sophie enters the guest house to speak with him. She explains the horrifying truth. The doubles are meant to replace the real couples. Normally, the original partners fall out of love, allowing the doubles to take their place and escape. Once that happens, the real couple becomes trapped. The reason Ethan can't leave is because the transformation has already begun. Only 2 people are allowed to escape. Confused, Ethan asks why she's telling him all of this if they also wants to leave. She admits she doesn't. She still loves the other Ethan and would rather remain trapped than watch him leave with the real Sophie. When Ethan asks if her feelings are real, she quietly insists that she is just as real as anyone else. Back at the main house, the real Sophie and the other Ethan prepare for a hike. The other Sophie intervenes, asking the real Sophie for hiking clothes and tricking her into going upstairs to meet Ethan in other room. Meanwhile, she disguises herself by wearing Sophie's clothes and joins the other Ethan downstairs, who believes she is the real one. Upstairs, Ethan finally explains everything to Sophie. He tells her the retreat was a trap designed to replace them. Meanwhile, downstairs, the disguised Sophie confesses to the other Ethan that she wants to leave with him, not with the real Ethan. He admits he loves her, unknowingly breaking her heart. He kisses her and suddenly realizes she isn't the real Sophie, then frantically calls out for the real Sophie. The real couple locks themselves in a room. Ethan confesses his love, telling Sophie that even if he isn't as charming as his double, he is still her husband and refuses to lose her. He begs for another chance. The other Ethan bursts through the door, leading to a tense confrontation. He pleads with Sophie to come with him, but she refuses. In desperation, he runs outside and tries to escape. Ethan chases after him. Just as the other Ethan reaches the edge of the property, he slams into an invisible force field and collapses unconscious. Both Sophies rush outside in shock. Seeing the chaos, Ethan decides it's time to leave. Faced with the 2 identical Sophies, one distraught, the other eerily calm, he makes a split-second choice. He grabs the impassive Sophie and they escape. They drive straight to their therapist's office, only to find it completely empty, as he never existed. With no answers, they return home. The next morning, life seems strangely normal. Their relationship feels lighter, almost healed. Sophie heads downstairs to make breakfast. When Ethan asks what she's cooking, she casually replies, "Bacon." A chill runs through him. Sophie hates bacon. Realizing he may have escaped with the wrong woman, Ethan pauses for several seconds before quietly saying, "I'll be right there."
If you enjoy this video, like and subscribe for more movie recaps like this. Thank you for watching.